Good morning, guys. This is going to be our first educational class. Today is October the 20th, and we're going to start by talking about CBD. So primarily CBD is an extract from hemp plants. And so hemp plants could be different, could be just hemp, industrial hemp that is very low grade CBD, no THC, and that can be used for like everything, making clothes, making rope, making products. Essential fatty acids in liquid form, you can get good vegetarian omega-3s, but when you extract the CBD from the hemp oil, you come up with this wonderful extraction. So CBD oil is good for pain and inflammation, stress and anxiety, autoimmune disorders, neurological disorders. There's studies being done where it's having anti-cancerous effects.
Arthritis too.
Arthritis, yes, and that's because of the pain and inflammation responses, and it's autoimmune disorder like RA, rheumatoid arthritis. That's autoimmune.
How about dementia?
Yes, because of neurological disorders. So there's studies being done as well where it's helping with that. I've watched some videos on YouTube with patients having problem with epilepsy, autism. 90 seconds, topical on the foot or in an inhaler type situation, 90 seconds to 120 seconds, and the patients typically have calmed down and are able to have a normal behavior, so they don't start self-harming as far as the autism, the epilepsy, easing seizures.
That's how it all started with the seizures, isn't it?
Yes, I believe
that's when they first
Carly's
started
Law.
researching it, and they noticed that kids or people who were having 20 seizures an hour or something like that suddenly went down to like one a week.
Right. And with continual use, so every body has an endocannabinoid system. So we have receptors in our mouth, our lungs, and our stomach. And that's why we can either ingest it, inhale it, or eat it. And so as we intake it, the first, and this is going to be about dosing. So the first thing when you're talking with a customer about CBD oil products, the first step is them finding the dose that works for their body and whatever's going on in their body that they need relief from. So it's typically, with Hemp Lucid, for instance, they start out with a 250 milligram bottle. So that
you got two different colors there. What's the difference?
Well, we're going to get down to that down here. So this is just, for instance, 250 milligram bottle and a 1 ounce bottle makes one dose, one squeeze of the dropper bulb, 8.3 milligrams, and that's on the box. So that's a good place to start. So about every half hour to an hour, you give yourself a dose, and you keep track of how many doses it takes to get the relief. So once you've found that relief and you've kept up with it, then you should be able to determine about what your milligram dose per day should be.
So then you might get a stronger.
Correct. So the next time they come in, they buy the most cost-effective bottle. But that's the first step, is finding that level of cannabinoids that gives them the relief they're seeking, whether it be sleep or pain or inflammation, whatever. That's the first step. And so say someone comes in and they're having problems with sleep and that's it. You may choose to start with CV Sciences because they offer 1, 3, 5, and 15 milligram doses. So that's kind of small, that's kind of low. So mild anxiety, mild sleep disorders, sleep patterns, CV Sciences.
So how's that compared to Hemp Lucid in there?
So Hemp Lucid starts out, they have a much wider spectrum as far as their milligram per dose.
Right.
And that's why typically a lot of people I see are shifting more to the Hemp Lucid.
When it says 250
and the
on the
relief.
Hemp Lucid, how does that relate to the CB? And how's that meant? Because
So this
one
entire-
is milligram, that is,
This entire bottle
Yeah.
that's here is the entire contents is 250 milligrams of CBD oil. So take for instance their 1 ounce bottle.
yeah.
So 2 pumps gives you 1 milligram, and there's 80 servings in the bottle. So that makes this 80 milligrams. This entire bottle,
This
80
is
milligrams.
Much stronger.
It's much stronger. It's actually more cost effective.
Got it.
But we do have customers that this is what they like, this is what they know, this is what they want. So, and that kind of brings us into the difference between the brands.
Yeah, tell us.
So CV Sciences, they offer internals, topicals, and gummies.
Okay.
So they offer from 1 milligram doses up to 15 milligram doses, which their soft gels is the 15 milligram dose. Pardon me. Right now, currently, their topical is our most popular moving that I have noticed personally.
Of all the topical?
All the topicals. Their extra strength balm, which is like 500 milligram dose, that typically is one of our best moving topicals.
Is it 500 milligrams in each dose?
Well,
Or
in
the whole
each
tube?
bottle, in the bottle, I'm sorry, in the bottle.
All right.
So CD Sciences is a good, people just have a, mild anxiety or a mild sleep problem. That could be a good place to start. I personally, this is my own personal preference, Hemp Lucid. So we're shifting from CD Sciences into Hemp Lucid. They offer in the gold, which is MTC oil based, and then in the red, which is glycerin based. So it's like oil or water soluble.
But it has the CBD. Does it have CBD oil in the?
Correct. Correct. It's just the base. So we don't actually carry pure CBD oil. What we carry is CBD oil extracts. So it's bonded to like extra virgin olive oil,
Gotcha.
MTC oil, glycerin. I'm not sure. I haven't checked
So
these
there's
ingredients.
still CBD oil in there.
In all of it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Oh, okay. MTC oil in the relief, which comes from coconut. So the reason that we would suggest, say, water soluble to someone, water soluble is going to be good for people who have problems absorbing nutrients, who have any gastrointestinal problems, or any like stomach discomfort. What it does is it helps. It's like take it like a B vitamin. It just our bodies absorbs it very quickly, and it reduces the discomfort in the stomach of having to digest. So therefore, like an oil base would break down longer in the system. It takes longer to break down, and therefore would stay a little bit longer in the system. So I typically suggest oil base unless they have any of those problems, whether it be absorbing nutrients or any stomach discomfort.
Now I've heard different things about the best way to take it. Is some people say you can take it and mix it with a drink and drink it, and other people say put it under your tongue.
So I always, yes, so you can do that. So the reason that I suggest sublingually is because if you think about it, we've got all that soft tissue with all those little vessels just right there. So it's going to start absorbing immediately into those vessels. So we're already getting it in the bloodstream right there. And then as we swallow it, the rest is absorbed
So you like
through the
under
stomach.
your tongue?
That is my personal preference, just because it's getting into the bloodstream faster as a sublingual.
But we do sell capsules too. You can just
Correct.
swallow.
So if you put it in a drink, it's just going to take a bit longer to get absorbed. Hemp Lucid also offers topical, soft gels, and gummies. So their soft gels, they offer 25 milligram and 15 milligram. And all their products, I'll say that at the end. And then their gummies are 25 milligrams. So those are, our stomach's going to have to digest it. So it's just another delivery system, because that's the most important thing is consistency. Because if we have problems, we have whatever's going on. If it's chronic, that means it's continuous. So it's just another way to be like, I can take this without having to taste it.
Yeah.
Or I can chew it up as like a treat kind of thing. They also offer a body butter. And their body butter, I believe, is 500 milligrams as well.
Is there a difference between that and the salve? Or
So,
just the
so
name?
like a salve, consistency of the actual product. Salves are a bit oilier, and I would say it's between coconut oil and shea butter as far as consistency. Butter is going to be more like a thick lotion almost. Okay, yes. And then Relief. So Relief is our local brand, and we only carry tinctures and a roll-on. So the tinctures are offered in, oh, I'm sorry, it's a lotion. It is a lotion, not a roll-on. So the tinctures are 500 milligram or 1,000 milligrams, and then the roll-on or the lotion is 400 milligrams. So this is the local. They only offer 2 different strengths.
When you say local, Alabama?
It's tri-state harvested hemp, and according to the rep, they will be growing their first crop in Alabama this year. So hopefully we'll have an actual local harvest ready for next year production. Very popular, and I believe we're using
an award for best oil in best CBD oil in or best CBD in oil.
Okay.
Get it straight at the World CBD Awards in Barcelona,
That's awesome.
and they have a ton of info on
And-
the
and
website
we're-
that's really useful for customers.
And we're
It's
currently
a QR
using
code.
this in the cafe. Yes,
Mhm.
yes, I thought so.
It's all around town too, and it has a little QR code so you can tell customers they can scan it with their phone.
Right,
It
it's got
leads
that
to-
little smartphone.
It leads to their third-party testing is what it leads to, and also their website.
How are we using that in the cafe?
We offer where you can add CBD to your drinks or food. So like what the cafe has done is they've gotten, I believe, a 500 milligram bottle, and then there's a flat surcharge for the actual dose.
Well, like $2-3, something like that?
It's enough that we're not,
Taking them off.
and then that it can be used as a food additive as long as you're not cooking with it. If I'm not mistaken, when you cook it on high temps for long times, it starts destroying the cannabinoids.
So we're putting it like in smoothies, juices, and salads?
Yeah, I mean you can add it to most any food, but it is suggested not to add into hot foods. And I believe it has something to do with the heat breaking down the cannabinoids. Pardon me.
It's interesting, they used to make like the marijuana brownie, and bake them, and it's gonna get you high.
You actually have to activate that
Yeah.
through heat.
Yeah,
It's sort of
yeah.
a different process.
We won't. Yeah. We won't get into that process because.
I can't
Hopefully we
believe
can
put
sing.
that on the video.
Well, yes, it'll be alright.
That's because I'm just the AM.
It'll be alright. We also carry Charlotte's Web, which is, I mean, our customer base. Some people are very brand specific, and they want what they want.
Have we ever sold any of it?
I've sold some. A couple other cashiers that I've seen have sold some.
I have the hemp capsules.
They offer topicals, tinctures, and capsules.
The green one, is that new?
It's a mint. It's chocolate mint flavor.
Who's the buyer for that?
Star, which I'll probably end up with that. Let's see. We've got the muscle mix, which are topical muscle with they're like muscle rubs with CBD oil. So they either offer a heating or a cooling. So these are not suggested for like anything but muscular stuff or areas that are not overly sensitive to cold sensations or heat sensations. Very effective though, very effective. And then we have Irwin Naturals. So Irwin Naturals offers soft gels, tinctures, or topical, much like everybody else. One thing about Irwin Naturals that's really good is that company includes bioperine in all their products, which is black pepper extract, right? And that helps us absorb our nutrients much more efficiently. So that's a good highlight of that company, because those soft gels, 7 to 9 minutes, they break down. They include all their supplements are suspended in a healthy oil for us, and then they also have that patented black pepper extract in all their products that helps us absorb it better.
All of their products?
All of them. All of them. I know, I thought that was very cool. And so, we carry their 250 milligram tinctures and their 1,000 milligram tincture, but we're currently out of that. Their 10 milligram soft gels and their 15 milligram soft gels, we're out of stock on that. And then we have their topical, either 250 or 500. And then we have Terry and Ashley Hemp Select. So this is getting into some of that terminology. So according to the FDA, they're trying to make it where companies are not allowed to actually label CBD. So it's very confusing, because you see hemp extract, you see hemp oil, you see cannabis oil. It's very, 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 but we're gonna discuss the terminology after we get done with the brands. So Terry and Ashley, they call theirs full spectrum premium European hemp oil. It's an extract of that oil. So this is actually 50 milligrams.
Per serving?
Yes, sir. And 50. And what it is they're FDA compliant. Yeah, but it's so confusing. So it's they offer 50 milligram.
But it is
doses.
CBD oil?
It is that hemp extract is actually cannabinoid extract. It's actually cannabinoids that they've extracted. And it comes in a 50 milligram dose. We also carry Regal Labs organic cannabis oil. So this is enriched, this is cold pressed 100% organic hemp oil with a guaranteed 270 milligrams of CBD per bottle. I'm actually proud of this company, because a year ago they only listed hemp oil enriched with CBDs without disclosing the actual CBD content. So 270 milligrams in a 2-ounce bottle. Could be used topical, internally. And finally, we have Roxy Pet, which comes from Yogi's Choice, which is where we get the hemp lucid. Roxy Pet, so it's a way that we can also help our pets not be so anxious, or say they're arthritic, just to help alleviate some of that. I have customers that buy it because their animals get scared during thunderstorms or fireworks displays, also for like hip dysplasia, any kind of arthritis symptoms, any kind of behavioral issues as well. It's offered in chicken and fish. They market their chicken towards dogs, their fish towards cats. Most of those animals like either chicken or fish. So it's, even though it says dog or cat, it doesn't matter.
Is there some reason a person won't eat it?
It's not not
Tastes like
human grade. And this is yeah.
It's a low dosage.
Yeah, so
Yes.
thank you for pointing that out, Andre.
So what now?
100 milligrams in the whole bottle.
Yes, low dosage.
It's a very low dose bottle.
Got
It would be almost like CD Science's 1 ounce bottle.
And I would say they do need to consider their pet size as well, not just a
Right.
dose
Yeah.
for all pets.
So
Like,
when
it's my
if
cat,
you're giving
I
a
have to figure
dog
it
or a
out.
cat a dose, that is something taken into consideration.
The weight.
Is the weight of the animal per dose. So it's always good to start low, just like we would with a customer, and dose up accordingly, and not just give them a full dose, because I've done experimentation, did not end well, and that's how we learn.
I got a question. Like, say a customer comes in, 2 different customers. One is wanting the most economical CBD that works.
Correct.
Which one would you recommend?
Me?
Yeah. If someone came in and said, I want a good CBD that works, but I need an economic
This is my first suggestion to any customer that comes in. It's 250 milligram bottle of Hemp Lucid's MTC oil based CBD oil extract. It's 8.3 milligrams per dose, and then I would,
Go from there.
I would go from there. And
Now,
this
would you do that? Would you say the same thing? Say someone else came in and said, "I want the best CBD oil you have. Doesn't matter how much it costs."
I personally use Hemp Lucid, and that's why I start here.
Gotcha.
But I also, because I'm not brand specific, so top sellers that I know of, now I haven't seen the numbers on the companies, Hemp Lucid, Relief, and then
12 o'clock.
high quality Charlotte's Web.
Okay.
So I would start here and go here and then here. They're all quality products.
Right.
I typically suggest things that I have tried and I have experimented with and I know that work for me.
Now, I've had, we made a guarantee on our radio commercials that we would guarantee the CBD oil.
Yes.
If the people weren't happy with it, they could return it. Have we had any return?
I think I've seen one in the, 3 years now we've been selling it? Yeah. Yeah, and I think it was an allergic reaction is the reason she returned it. Terminology. That whole well, I need hemp oil extract. I need hemp oil. I need cannabis oil. When a customer comes in and says, I want hemp oil, what is it? I forget the brand name of the hemp oil that we carry, but I would immediately take them to the fridge and suggest hemp oil that we carry in the fridge, which is
Marlene's.
Manitoba Harvest. Thank you. Because hemp oil it's a vegetarian source of omega fatty acids. I think it's omega 3. I could be mistaken. It can be used topically for pain and inflammation. You can take it internally to help with the same
Does it have
thing.
CBD?
It does not. So that's hemp oil. Hemp oil extract, that's where we're getting into cannabinoid extracts.
Right.
So when you're extracting, it's just like, say you were extracting carvacol from oregano. It's the active compound in the herb that helps with those conditions that we talked about earlier. Same thing when you're talking about cannabis oil. So cannabis is a part of the hemp family. So cannabis is THC and CBD in the same plant.
Got it.
So the laws here in Alabama, it has to come from industrial hemp. It can contain no more than 0.3% THC, and it has to be independently certified by a third party to meet those requirements. Those are the requirements here in Alabama to be able to sell CBD oil products. Everything that we carry is full spectrum. What that means is it uses the stalks and the aerial parts of the plants. So it actually does have those trace amounts of THC in there. Now, that's also something that we have to let the customers know.
We had someone fail a drug test.
Correct. Over time, it will build up in the system and cause not a false positive, but cause a positive on a drug analysis. We currently do not have a THC-free CBD oil supplement. I will be talking with Harinam Singh about that in the coming
Are we
week.
getting requests? Do people come in and say, I want a THC-free CBD?
I think it would be in our best interest to at least have a couple of items on the shelf for customers. And I think we talked about Vasallo. I believe you were telling me that Harinam Carr tried that. But we'll talk later about that. So, that is something to be aware of too, because THC is stored in fat cells, right? We all have fat cells no matter what your body fat index is. As we break those fat cells down, it's reintroduced into the system. So it can stay in there long time, and it compounds. So it just keeps compounding.
What does that mean, a compound?
Compound means that every time we introduce THC into our system, it just adds up. It just compounds over time. So
No, it doesn't multiply, it just
it just keeps adding.
It just stays in there.
It just stays in there. THC takes 14 to 30 days to naturally work its way out of our system for one use. So it's gonna just keep adding and adding for each time we use. So it could take longer for that to come back out.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's something that's very important as far as letting the customers know, because we want them to know, hey, you know, you need to make sure with your work or whatever, because we don't want
Makes
you
me
to.
think, Justin, that you ought to write like an info sheet.
I did.
You did?
I did.
With all this kind of stuff
I
on
did.
it. That's great.
I did. I gave one to all the employees, and we have a store
Yeah, you
copy.
can print some
My
out to
cheat
give
sheet.
them to our customers too.
I could. I shall. It's saved on my email. So,
Yeah, I think that's great.
all right. Q&A, questions and answers. I mean, I know we've been doing questions and answers as we go, but we kind of covered everything on that I had on the syllabus. So at this point, it's to the floor. Sarah?
So anything that says hemp, but it includes full spectrum cannabinoid complexes, it's still talking about, it's still referring to CBD, correct?
What we have behind the counter, yes. So, and there's
Everything back here has got CBD in it.
correct. So when you see Hemp Select, like that's their trademark name for this product. So that's premium European hemp oil, full spectrum. And so what they've done is they've actually extracted that premium hemp oil, and that's where the cannabinoids come from, is that extract. So the terminology is very like this original hemp, right? So we have to go to the actual nutritional facts to see full spectrum hemp oil, 25 milligrams. That's the CBD content. The companies are companies that we buy this from. That is where I received that information.
Gotcha.
Kadam Singh was the one that told me from Yogi's Choice about original hemp and their hemp extract. He said that's the only product we carry that doesn't actually say CBD, but it is CBD extract.
And they're
If I'm
doing
not
that to comply with the FDA.
correct, if I'm not mistaken, Terry Naturally with their hemp select, that I talked to Kirtan, who talked to Liz, and when they say concentrated European hemp stalk and seed oil extract, that's the cannabinoid extract. And then the cannabis oil, it has it on the label. It actually says CBD oil extract. I believe it's 270 milligrams.
So there's some kind of seal or award that people are looking for that I think is on Charlotte's Web. Do you know?
Oh, I don't.
about that?
You know, this is one of the first companies that I heard about.
Yeah, like a certification. There isn't really a certification yet, is there?
I mean, each company can put whatever they want
Yeah.
to on their label,
Yeah,
and I'm
make your
sure
money.
yeah. So I did not see something
But
on
there's
that.
not like a national, this is,
I did not see on their label where they were certified in anything.
Yeah.
Now,
Or bragging about any award.
I mean, they do have CBD awards. So the relief guys win.
it offers you to go to their website. So it's not on the actual label, but it does encourage you to go to their website for more information. And I'm quite positive that they have won awards. And I'm fairly certain that CB Sciences, their CBD Plus, has won awards.
And you're saying this Rely one has won some kind of.
Relief, yes.
Oh, well, they did. They won
Yes.
the best CBD.
And
in
I
the-
wouldn't be surprised if Hemp
the
Lucid had
World
as well.
CBD Awards. It was in Barcelona. It's on their Instagram.
Yeah.
Which is how I noticed to see it. Also, just a note, their lotion that they put out, and I could be wrong, but I think it's the only topical that we carry that they promote for skincare use, not just
Correct.
as like inflammation.
So,
and
you know,
pain.
Well, the hemp lucid as well also
Is that what
has
I'm saying?
a lot of
right. So that is another important thing. If someone's coming in, they got psoriasis, eczema, something like that, you don't want to give them the muscle mix.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure that you look in the ingredients, because a lot of our topicals Like the Cannabis Care from Regal Labs has like emu oil, arnica. If it contains anything like camphor or any kind of minty herbs or any heat activating herbs, those are not really going to be good for skin conditions per se. That could actually irritate them. So you want something that's just really gentle with simple ingredients if you're looking for. And you know what? Another option, buy the oil tincture,
Yeah.
blend it with some shea butter. You've made your own product. You got, what, 3 ingredients? Maybe 2 in the oil, and then 1 in the shea butter. And then you have the perfect skin, what'd you call it? Skincare
Yeah,
product.
I mean, people are saying they're showing now that it's really good. It makes your skin glow and.
And we have a hemp seed oil, but it's hemp seed oil, not, yeah, okay. But we have, yeah, I don't think Elaine's has CBD in it.
Mhm.
Okay.
She should.
Rama?
Immune system.
Oh, yes. If no more questions on CBD, we'll go into and start.
Well,
Yeah, no, I'm perfect.
yeah, okay. That the call key that I got from Cotton
Correct.
tested really pure to me.
Yes.
My system has challenges with detoxing whatever is not part of the natural whole food thing.
Right.
And so, which ones are the purest from that standpoint, Justin?
So I got really good results with Kalki myself as well. So a single cannabinoid extract that is THC free. Thank you for asking this as well, because it's something else that I wanted to address. Is really good for people that, you know, one, we need what's good for our body. So THC and terpenes that are in full spectrum products can actually help us absorb and utilize it better. But everyone's not the same. We're all one, but we're all different. We metabolize
So
differently.
when they start adding the mentholated stuff and the peppermint, and that's a challenge to me.
Right.
But just the simple hemp oil, CBD oil.
That single
works
extract
for me.
in the
And
coconut
so-
oil.
Yeah, and so in the Kalki, I could take the most expensive one,
Yes,
which was the purest.
the 1500.
But when I started getting down the line, they started being a challenge to my system, and I needed to avoid those.
Right. I remember when they changed the packaging, it didn't seem to be as effective for you anymore. And we stopped carrying it because I had to put everything just to, I would say 85% of the product on clearance just to get some of our money back,
Right.
because they did not have good dates. Now they have adjusted their product where they have good dates now. But it is the stuff that comes in the boxes. It's no longer the stuff where it just comes in the bottle without the box packaging.
Okay.
If you want, I will reorder some and just have you try it. And if it works, then we can bring it back in.
Rather than do that, let me check everything else.
Okay.
There was a Midwest company. Did we pick up that company? That
Vasayo?
Harinam?
Alright, I'm seeing.
I need your help with
What?
that fella I was talking to on the phone. When
Yeah.
he brought in the Midwest corner.
Yeah, he had all this kind of.
That was the gentleman that I didn't get to talk to.
Yeah,
and you
I
talked
talked to him.
That's Vasayo. Their entire line is a single cannabinoid extract, so it's THC free. That entire line.
Okay, so that was CBN, Harinam, and
But he had like
CBG.
Different
different CBD
Cannabinoid.
oils.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
He had different ones.
So we picked up that company?
We did not. I was going to talk to Harinam Singh about because it's
If you want
THC
it, I'll
free.
get it for you.
I personally,
need to test it some more because I need something pure.
right, and I personally feel like we should
I
offer.
thought some of the stuff was THC free. and some
So
of it
I'm
wasn't.
wondering if
Okay.
I should just put one of, I've got 2 coffee bottles at home, I think. If I should just put one of those in shea butter and let that be mine.
What your topical?
Yeah, well, and my dosage.
Yeah.
I mean, I can take it in through my skin
Mhm.
because I also have hypoacidic stomach,
Right.
which takes me back to the glycerin that I have trouble with sugar.
Well, and I personally don't I personally don't like glycerin. And so I don't think I have a problem with. I just go with oil because it's only 2 ingredients instead of like 2 ingredients plus this.
Yeah, so
thing
oil and
I'm not-
shea butter, I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that.
Okay.
Thanks.
And let me know what you like. Like I said, either way, I do agree. I think we should have at least a small option for customers who don't want THC in their oil.
Yeah, and it's not that I don't want THC, it's that I don't want alcohol or whatever they're
You want something-
using to cut the product.
Right, you want something clean. And that's why I like Hemp Lucid, because their MTC oil base is only 2 ingredients. Coconut oil and cannabinoid extract.
So, and this comes from Yogi Stress.
Correct. That's what we get from conversation.
And so, if we wanted to get a bottle of the pure Palki, we have to get a whole minimum.
No ma'am, I can order singles.
Thank you.
No worries. And if you guys want, we will shift into,
Immune system.
yes, we're going to start with sinus and allergy relief on the top shelf and work our way down. So, well, I need my books. Most of the information that I've gotten that we're going to have come from the Prescription for Nutritional Healing and Erland Dale's Vitamin Bible. The rest of it is stuff that I have learned in my decade of service here that Bridget helped me remember. Give me a second, let me get my books, I'll be right back. Okay, so is anybody, I'm sure we've all heard Michelle talk about nettles and how nettles is amazing. So does any, let me just do it this way. So when it comes to sinus and allergies, so take for instance nettles. All right, let me start by going, this is going to be your best friend. So everyone that works here, whether it be a manager or a cashier, we all need to be able to have the wherewithal, the willingness to go, you know what, I don't know, but if you follow me, we can find out together. So typically, my first thing I do is go to the Prescription for Nutritional Healing. We have a store copy. If it's not in there, typically I'll go to Urban Dale or Back to Eden. Or 20,000 Secrets of Teas. 3 very good titles. So like nettles are like really good as an expectorant. Help break up that mucus. Hay fever and allergies, any allergies. And that's why, especially, so Eclectic Institutes, they offer a fresh, raw, freeze-dried nettle. So it's like probably one of the most potent and most active that we carry in the store. Very, very effective. So
Stinging nettles is a separate product?
all right, so nettles and stinging nettles, it's the same plant. It's the same plant. So it's also good for inflammatory conditions and mucus conditions of the lungs. And that's another reason why it's going to be good for not only sinus and allergy care, but also when we get down into like respiratory health as well. Pardon me, I'm sorry.
Sounds like you need some.
Now, the next one on the itinerary or on the syllabus is bromelain. Bromelain is an enzyme that comes from pineapple. So one reason that we have it here in the sinus allergy section is because bromelain acts as an anti-inflammatory, specifically really good for sinus inflammation, to help relieve that inflammation, so like sinus headaches, all that inflammation there in the sinus cavities. But again, it also helps with digestion, which is a really cool side benefit.
Arthritis?
for its inflammation reducing properties, yes. So
Is it destroyed by cooking?
fresh pineapple or in supplementation, cooking will dissipate that enzyme. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. That heat, pretty much, any heat is going to start to, especially when it's like a fresh fruit like that, you know, unless it's like a seed or something like that, or the leaves from the tree. So that would be like really good for anybody that has sinus problems, as far as like inflammation of the sinus cavities, creating sinus headaches. Blended into this product right here, which ties into our combinational supplements, it offers vitamin C and quercetin. So quercetin comes from bioflavonoids, and that's good for our allergies and sinuses as well. That is located in the natural food supplement sections of the prescription for nutritional healing. Quercetin and bioflavonoids. Of course, vitamin C, really good for our immune system, can help in a high dose, help just stave off as soon as you get symptoms, just help start knocking it down, flush it out of the system. Bless you. So I also wanted to talk briefly about Nature's Way HAS 9 blend herb. HAS stands for hay fever, allergies, and sinuses. So the herbs in there are blended to help with your sinuses and your allergies. So we're looking at like marshmallow, Mormon tea, burdock, cayenne pepper, eclampane, golden seal, rosemary, and cleavers. So almost all of those are going to be good to help break down mucus, open up the sinus cavities, help alleviate allergies and sinus problems, and also I believe it's the parsley, helps just like sweep it out as well. Just help keep us where we're, what's the word? Parsley is kind of like a herbal diuretic. And that will help to flush it out. That was what I was looking for, flush it out. Very good product for any kind of like allergy relief. Also sinuses as well. Mullein. So mullein is another one of those herbs, really good for lung health, as far as helping to get rid of excess mucus, really good for the lungs. So page 121 of the prescription for nutritional healing, it helps as an expectorant. It's good for hay fever and other allergic disorders. It helps, improves inflammatory conditions and mucus conditions of the lungs. So it's going to reduce inflammation of the lungs, reduce mucus of the lungs. So like for instance, nettle and mullein would be a really good pair.
What category is that section in the book?
This is under the herbs section of the book. I apologize, I forgot. We're only talking about the actions and usages for immune today, because there's many actions and usage for each herb, much like the stones and everything else that we carry. So I've only highlighted what's good for our immune system and like breaking that up, getting it out. Those are
Oregano's real good.
yes. So right now we're talking about sinus and allergy.
Okay.
Yeah, oregano is down into the immune. So we'll go get after that after the respiratory. So like combinational supplements back into like phenuthyme, HAS, lung and bronchial. Oh, sorry, I overstepped my sections. HAS, phenuthyme. When we take combinational supplements, so it works synergistically. So instead of just taking one herb or one vitamin, we're taking many to help with multi-symptoms instead of just taking one herb that has several actions and usage but may not be comprehensive enough for whatever's going on as far as like our allergies and our sinuses or any part of the store, whatever's going on. Typically, combinational supplements can be more effective than single herbs. especially if it's like multi-symptom or it's not just like one specific thing that's going on. So a lot of times I will suggest combinational supplements because of that ability to hit several different points within the body and several different actions and usages per herb. And so that's really good, something like the bromelain sinus ease, or like even the homeopathics. Homeopathics, and this I got from Dr. Joan Lowe, God rest her soul, and Joey, who orders our homeopathics. Homeopathics are absorbed under the tongue, bypasses the digestive system, does not interfere with any medications that we're already taking, because it's basically going straight into the bloodstream, because we're not eating it. We're letting it dissolve up under the tongue fully.
We don't have to digest it.
Right. It's almost like a coenzymated vitamin. It's a little off topic. Sorry. But yes, so we're not having to digest it. So it's much easier on us. It's actually a little bit better for us. And so combinational supplements for there to help alleviate those symptoms. And help us to feel better. Okay, let's see. So, any questions on sinus or allergy?
Manuka honey.
Manuka honey. All right. So Manuka is a medicinal grade honey that comes from the Manuka plant, which is where we get tea tree oil. So let's think about that. It's basically a honey that has the same properties as tea tree oil, except in an edible form. So tea tree oil is antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial, acts as an antiseptic. So in a spray, like we carry, like a nasal spray, those actions are going to help to destroy any bacteria or any viruses that could be causing any kind of sinus discomfort, sinus infection, sinus flow, that drip, drip, drip. Applied topically, it can help kill any kind of bacteria or fungus or virus that's on the skin, and help regenerate skin to grow faster. I did not look this up, but I've been told that burn wards actually buy Manuka honey to help regenerate the skin faster.
They use honey in surgeries to pack wounds.
Yes. Honey's, it's
Just
for
because
centuries.
It's antiseptic, antibacterial.
You can actually preserve things in honey. Honey never goes bad.
Honey in the pyramids.
Never goes bad. It's been for centuries, from probably millennia. Okay, sorry. We good? All right. Onward and forward. Next up, we're going to talk about respiratory health. And this all ties into the immune system. We need our sinuses. We need all of it flowing correctly to keep that immune system up and keep everything nice and clear so that we can just walk and do our best.
I have a comment about the immune system.
Yes, ma'am.
It's my understanding that the immune system is in the gut.
Yes. So, I believe, take for instance, in our gut health. So there's it's upwards of 70 or more percent where it's in the intestines, and then the rest of that is in the gut. So yes, ma'am. That's part of where it starts.
Yeah, and so the intestines, the gut, and it's kind of like even around us now is my new understanding.
Correct.
So I've learned the word microbiome, and now I've learned the word holobiome.
Yeah. I don't encourage everyone to do this, but our immune systems are like muscles. So if we don't give our immune system something to strengthen, it will start attacking our body. And so if we lead very antiseptic lives and we never introduce bacteria to our system to produce antibodies, then we are more prone to get sick more easily.
Yeah.
Um,
Then we don't have the
I actually pick things up off the floor and eat it. I'll pick things out of the trash and eat them. I mean, it's my immune system
Yeah.
Have fun with it. See how far you can take it. You know, there's an old adage: if it doesn't kill you, it will only make you stronger. Now, that's why I don't encourage it to customers, because that's dangerous. It could be dangerous. I myself, I grew up in the sticks, growing up eating dirt. God made dirt. Dirt don't hurt. And
People would have been like that. We would have been dirtier and exposed to those things.
I have a
This is
fairly
a very
strong immune
antiseptic life
Yeah.
with all the concrete and
with the respiratory health, again with the mullein, because of it, with the inflammation and the mucus buildup of the lungs, it helps to reduce that. Horehound. Are any of you familiar with horehound? So if we go to page 115 in the prescription for nutritional healing, so it decreases the thickness and increases the fluidity of mucus in the bronchial tubes and the lungs. Boosts the immune system, and it's good for hay fever, sinusitis, and other respiratory
What is that?
disorders.
Beforehand.
Horehound.
Wow.
And that's why, with the syllabus, that's why I started here, because this all ties into the immune system. Whether it's sinuses, allergies, respiratory health, it's all tied together. It's, you know,
Very
it's,
traditional tea or how.
yeah. I mean, it's good for, it's good for a lot of things, but it's really good for our lung health, our sinus health, and our immune health. And that's because of its ability to help thin the mucus and increase that fluidity so it moves more efficiently, especially in the bronchial tubes and the lungs, so that we can breathe better. Lobelia. And here I'm gonna go to Back to Eden because it's not in my favorite book. Lobelia, really good. You got a customer comes in, they want to quit smoking, Lobelia. In a tea or in a capsule.
Just reduce the craving.
Helps with cravings, helps with the lungs. So Lobelia, it's an emetic. High doses, that means it makes you emetic. It makes you evacuate. You throw up. Am I correct? I think I'm correct. Emetics make you
Yeah.
vomit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an expectorant, so that's going to help to break down and get rid of excess mucus. It's also a diuretic and a nervine, and that's why it's also good for helping to quit smoking, because it helps bounce our nerves so that we're not so like.
So if you take Lobelia, you're gonna throw up.
High doses, yes. So
I've also
I
read
heard that it could be toxic.
I'm gonna.
and that it can relax a person so much that the lungs and heart stop working.
Yes, ma'am. It is one that has a disclaimer about using. What we carry.
It's a baneful herb.
What we carry, I am almost certain that you would probably have to take half the bottle, the whole bottle, to get to the point where where you need to seek medical attention. Lobelia is one of the most extensively used herbs and is used chiefly as an emetic or in pulmonary complaints such as bronchitis, croup, whooping cough, and asthma, etc. It's also an antispasmodic, and the antispasmodic properties are what relaxes where our lungs and our heart could stop. Whooping or antistimulant says, caution, Lobelia may have some toxic effects and should not be taken internally without proper consultation. So it's not one that I typically suggest to people, because I haven't been to school for this, so I don't want to. If I'm not comfortable with a product suggesting to a customer without someone that has educational experience, then I approach things like that cautiously. I mean, as long as we use it according to the label, we should be fine. But that is something that we need to make sure we tell the customer it needs to be used according to the label. It is safe to take externally. Now, any of these things we always need to be sure. Are you lactating? Are you breastfeeding? Are you pregnant? With women, because that can affect the babe. You're breastfeeding, you know. So like mother's milk, when the mother takes a supplement, her body actually converts whatever she's taking into a dose that is safe for the child, the infant that is breastfeeding. So that's a good way to say they got sinus problems, the babe does, or they have immune problems, they got cold. The mom takes the stuff, right, and she's breastfeeding, her body turns whatever she's taking into a dose that's acceptable for an infant through the breast milk. Our bodies are amazing. They're really amazing. Susan Weed for Women's Health. That's a great author, great information, wonderful lady. She actually trained one of my best friends, Parker. It's not with us. Okay, focus. So yeah, with Lobelia, it's one that, again, you know, as long as they're using it according to the label, it's safe. But it could be abused, and it could be toxic. You know, there's a lot of stuff that we carry, if it's not used properly, it could be toxic.
Very funny.
Cayenne pepper. So cayenne, the reason it's good for respiratory health is because of its ability to help break down excess mucus. It also is good for our cardiovascular health and our circulation. It also so cayenne pepper contains capsaicin. Capsaicin is the active compound in peppers that make them hot. Cayenne's going to be around the 90,000 heat units on the Scoville scale. Capsaicin can also be really good for our immune system because capsaicin can disinfect and destroy and kill just about anything. I mean, capsaicin is so strong that governments have hybridized peppers to turn into aerosol non-lethal weapons for like terrorist attacks and things of that nature. That's how powerful capsaicin can be in like million quantity. But in lower quantity on the Scoville scale, it can help with breaking down excess mucus and also acting as like a immunostimulant by helping to destroy those viruses that's causing sickness. Combinational supplements. So back again to combinational supplements. We start introducing not one but 2 or 3 or even 7 different herbs and or minerals and vitamins so that we get a synergistic blend where we can attack several different options at one time if we need to. If not, single herb, single vitamin, single mineral. And we don't carry the horseradish anymore. I really like that. Okay, cool. Does anybody have questions on like the respiratory stuff? Oh, before we get there, my personal experience, Clear Lungs, it's a Chinese herbal extract from Ridgecrest Labs. Personal experience is one of the best for helping breathing. So asthma problems, any kind of chronic bronchial problems, or just like having problems breathing, it's an amazing product. Now, we don't really carry Chinese herbals except in combinational supplements, and I believe this is one of the very few Chinese herbals that we carry. Really good product. Not that the rest of them are not good.
Who orders that, Justin?
Ridgecrest comes from Kehi. Kieran orders that. They also offer a extra strength homeopathic I believe this is homeopathic. Oh no, it's an herbal as well. I'm sorry. So they offer like the original and the extra strength. I personally prefer the original, but it is an amazing product. Anytime I'm having a difficulty breathing consistently and easily, I'll take the Clear Lungs, and that's safe to take. I believe it's every 4 hours. Okay, now questions and answers. I'm sorry, on respiratory health, and then we're gonna scoot into immune, which ties into everything. I love that motion. Good? Excellent. You good out there? All right. So echinacea. I'm pretty sure everyone that's here this morning is familiar with echinacea. Echinacea can help, what is that? It's white blood cell count. So our white blood cells, that's part of our platelets, our immune system. That's going to be what that's going to help with. So echinacea, if we go to page 110 in the prescription for nutritional healing, fights inflammation and bacterial and viral infections, stimulates certain white blood cells. So those white blood cells are going to help, that's part of the immune system, to attack whatever's going on, the sickness that's going on. It's good for the immune system and the lymphatic system. Useful for allergies, colic, colds and flu, and other infectious illnesses. So, and that's kind of how it helps with the immune system, is by helping with that white blood cell count and having that ability to help with boosting the white blood cells to fight those infectious illnesses, like colds and flu. It can also lower blood pressure, but that's for another day. Colloidal silver. This is coming from me. I haven't been able to find it in one of the reference books yet. I don't like looking things up on the computer, except as a last resort. I would like to see everyone here use a book first. Always first. Use the internet lastly. One, because you're encouraging it being looked up. You're also educating yourself, but at the same time encouraging the customer to educate themselves. I don't want you to just read the stuff to them. I want you to be like, so let's learn. I mean, seriously, let's learn together, because the thing is we're not experts. We only work here. So that needs to be something where we need to start helping encourage them to do research, to educate themselves. I mean, otherwise we're just telling them something.
It just gives us credibility.
Yeah. I mean, it builds that willingness to be able to go, I don't know, but if you follow me, we'll learn together. Yeah, I mean, it's like, and that's what separates us from competition and the internet, is because is our customer service, and that's why we need to be on point and not, and just have the ability and the wherewithal to go over to the section and the willingness to just go, let's look together, because I don't know. I'm sure most of you guys have seen when I work, even if I think I know the information, I'll go back to the book and double check, because I don't want to just sound like I'm just pulling something out of the air. I want to make sure not only that I'm correct, but I can show them in black and white that I'm not just saying something. I've referenced, a lot of times I can spout something, but that's because I've been doing it for so long, and I've repeated myself so many times. So colloidal silver. Silver is one of those elements, minerals, that will pretty much kill anything. So antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial, antiseptic. I had a customer, 3 drops, 3 to 5 times a day in the eye, got rid of pink eye. Internally, any kind of infection, virus, topically, bug, everything from bug bites to cuts to burns. I use it on my pets. Safe. It's safe. What's not safe is when we drink, I don't know, a gallon of it a day. So what happens, you can go on YouTube and watch, he's called the blue guy, I believe. He's drinking so much colloidal silver, he's tinged himself blue. Silver blue. Blue bloods, that's where it comes from. The aristocracy eating off silver plates with silver utensils and drinking from silver cups. They took so much silver that they actually tinged their skin. So in very extremely high doses, it's not good to continue to take. So like if we get over here in the Silver Wings, this brand actually suggests that you dilute down to 10 parts per million because that is a safe dose. A safe, like, diluted dose. So like Sovereign Silver, it's already diluted the dose 10 parts per million. And that's why you wouldn't want to like take just a straight dose of the Silver Wings because it's not been diluted and could potentially be too much over long-term time. Yeah, I mean, and I don't think it's life-threatening, but I don't know very many people that want to walk around with a silver blue hue. Oregano. Urbandale, it's in Urbandale's vitamin Bible. Oregano contains carvacol. Carvacol, and that's listed on most because it's an extract from oregano. So the carvacol content, the percentage, that's what you really want to suggest. So I typically suggest Natural Factors oil of oregano because it has 80% carvacol, whereas the other companies either don't disclose the carvacol content or it's lower. So oregano oil, antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. I've had some customers, I'm pretty sure y'all have met them, Ed and Fred. They actually told me the P73, the oregano P73, they had friends get rid of staph infection with oregano oil. That's how powerful it potentially can be. Pardon me, I'm sorry. I mean, wonderful for the immune system. Could even potentially, I've got a handful of customers, they take it internally for their neuropathy pain, which I found very interesting. Okay. Oregano is probably one of my favorites, personally, as far as my immune system. Because typically when I get sick, I have been bombarded to the point that my immune system's like, oh wow, okay, well, I thought I was strong, but I was a bit stronger then. So I will actually take a combination of oregano oil and colloidal silver and elderberry. I'll just take 3 different supplements in one dose.
Simultaneously or
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I will. The elderberry that I prefer comes with a little measuring cup to go with the bottle, and so I'll pour my elderberry dose, and then I'll put a dose of colloidal silver and a dose of oregano oil, and then take that, and then drink a full glass of water behind. And as we go through the next ones, we'll understand, because you know the actions of elderberry plus the actions of both oregano and colloidal silver work synergistically for my body, my immune system. So, you know, again, we all metabolize things differently, so it is a bit of an experimentation sometimes as far as what. So I encourage muscle testing, pendulums. If my system is not sensitive, so a lot of times in an experimentation, I'll just take, and my body will let me know, okay, well, no. But there are different methods to test to find what's right for us. Olive leaf. Olive leaf extract is another one of those where we're getting an extract from a plant that's going to aid our inflammation, or I'm sorry, our immune system. So I can't pronounce the extract. Alleluprin, I believe, is how it's pronounced. That's going to be the active compound that's going to be good for our immune systems. So in the prescription for nutritional healing on page 121 is where we can find olive leaf. Olive leaf fights all types of viruses. Helps stave off colds and flu, and good for virtually any infectious disease. Can be used by itself or in combination with other immune boosting products, sinus, whatever it may be. I don't believe olive would necessarily interact with any of the other herbal remedies that we offer, to the best of my knowledge. Elderberry. So again, in the prescription for nutritional healing on page 110, and this is why I take elderberry, oregano, and silver together. So elderberry relieves coughs and congestion, builds the blood, cleanses the system. So it's building our bloodstream and it cleanses our system. But it also enhances the immune system function, lowers fever, soothes the respiratory tract, and it's effective against the flu viruses. So, what was it, 2 years ago when the flu was so bad? And UAB was just wrapped up. So elderberries have been used for centuries to help shorten the duration and severity of the common cold and influenza. But it's also going to be good at fevers, coughs, and boosting the overall immune system. So, and that's why I personally like to take it with the other two items. And it's safe for all ages because it's not, well, let me put it, it's safe for kids and adults. If it was an infant, I would pray that the mom was breastfeeding. That way they can her body can break it down for the infant. It gets a little hazy using Clark's rule for infants. So Clark's rule is where we get the child dosage from an adult supplement. Clark's rule states for every 50 pounds of body weight, take 1/3 of the adult dose. So if you've got a mom or dad that comes in, they're like, hey, my kid, and we don't have a supplement for that in the children's section, then that's when we employ Clark's rule and go, okay, this 50 pounds body weight, 1/3 the adult dose. Garlic. So garlic, page 112, in the prescription for nutritional healing. I love this book. Garlic's over here, so it's not in the immune system section, but garlic helps detoxify the body and protects against infection by enhancing the immune function. So we're detoxing and boosting the immune system, but it also aids in the treatment of asthma, colds and flu, and it's good for virtually any disease or infection, and that's because of its strong antiviral, antibacterial properties of the actual oil.
Justin, if I could backtrack for a minute, I'd like to plug Rishi tea because it's got elderberries in it. It's really subtle.
And reishi is very good for our immune system as well. When I came up with my syllabus, I was going on the aisle, and I'm going to be honest, I knew about reishi and I love mushrooms, but I completely I would actually prefer that sometimes over other things.
I didn't even notice mushroom in here.
Reishi is a brand name of tea. I am so sorry.
Rishi is a kind of yogi.
Okay.
Ties his hair up on top of his head. There are Rishi mushrooms.
And those are also good for the immune system. Yeah. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Reishi is a brand name of tea.
Yeah, and it's got hibiscus, elderberry, blueberry, and a bunch of other things in it. Really does.
Right. All those berries are very strong antioxidants that help with the immune system with the elderberry. That sounds absolutely delicious.
It is.
And very...
With vanilla stevia.
Ooh. Cod liver oil. So this is something I know because my grandmother, it's an old wives' remedy that has been used for I don't know how long. But cod liver oil is very rich in vitamins A and D. Both of those are amazing for the immune system. And that's why, some customers go for cod liver oil to help with colds. I haven't seen customers use it for flu, but like colds or any kind of like sniffles or anything, a lot of wise grandmothers, a lot of wise women will get you to take cod liver oil. And that is because of the A and D content in there. So we're back again at combinational supplements and things like how I was saying I take the silver, the oregano, and the elderberry together. Now we don't have a combinational supplement that has those three in there by itself. I'm almost done. So for combinational supplements, immune system, one of my favorite, Nature's Way, Sambucus, standardized elderberry immune syrup. So this is standardized elderberry. It's got vitamin C, echinacea, propolis, and zinc, all of which are very good immuno boosters and help to destroy those that bacteria and that viral stuff that causes common colds and influenza. So back again to elderberry as far as helping reduce fever, helping with coughs, and helping with the immune system. And then combinationally with the other ones, so we're hitting it from several different points so that we can hopefully get it gone, get it under control very quickly so these symptoms don't progress to the point where we have to seek Western medicine and the ER. Liquids going to break down very quickly. We don't have to digest anything before it can get into the system and go to work. Wellness formula, tablet forms. This has got, I don't know, probably 20 or 30 extracts in here. It is an amazing product. 3 tablets every 3 hours while symptoms persist. 24 hours, 48 hours. Personally, has been knocked out.
I have had that work wonderfully as well.
Yeah, I find it to be an amazing product as far as tablets go.
Works very well for her.
Yeah.
Excellent. I have a customer, her favorite is the Ultimate Immunity by Nature's Way. It is quite similar to the wellness formula. It's just a different company, different brand. It's about the only difference. The directions may be a bit different. And then olive leaf complex. So olive leaf complex, although it's not an actual combinational supplement, it is like a full spectrum CBD oil where we're using all parts of the olive plant or olive leaf, all the different compounds of the olive leaf versus just the oleuroperin extract from the olive leaf. So it uses the whole plant. So it could be more effective than just olive by itself. And with that, we are currently open, and that will be the close of our first class at Golden Temple.
Good job, Justin.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, Justin.